Hello everyone, Andrew, day 2 Dryden, here, recording for Nikachu MTG. Are you wanting to learn how to play Merfolk and become a Merfolk master? Watch Nikachu on Nikachu MTG. But, if you're interested in Burn, then this is definitely where you want to put your attention. We have... This is like the 5th game in a row I've been on the draw. But outside of that, the hand is fantastic. We've got, we're going to curve into all 3 lands. We've got 2 creatures to start the game with, and our opponent mulliganed, so we might be able to just get a bit of an aggro start here. They went to 6. They put a card on the bottom of their library. Forest, go. Okay, so this could be a bunch of different things. I'm not sure about basic forest. I guess we're just, since they put a card on the bottom, I guess we're just going to go Goblin Guide. Sometimes I'm tempted to put Swift Spear in first when they go card on top. Voice of Resurgence. Another voice deck? Is this going to be Saheeli combo again? I certainly hope not. Ghost Quarter. Scavenging Ooze. Okay. Main deck Scavenging Ooze. So maybe this is just green, white value. Wow, that was a great draw. I think I'm... Oof. No, I'm not willing to trade with the Scavenging Ooze, because I can just answer it right now. So we want to fetch for us Sacred Foundry, because we will need white at some point, obviously, and even just because of what's in our hand. Yes, we're paying 2 life. So this is actually fantastic, because we're able to get rid of the Scavenging Ooze before it can gain any life or get out of control. And we're able to deal 2 damage. Oh man, the turn 2 Searing Blaze is just the greatest thing in the world. Drawing another... Okay, wow. You know, I mentioned this in the pilot episode. I make fun of Nikachu all the time for getting, you know, turn 2 concessions, and maybe this is the secret. Maybe you just have to start recording your matches. Who knows? Because, wow, there it was. So we know they've got Voice of Resurgence and Scavenging Ooze. So I'm going to assume they're not Jund, or sorry, not Abzan, but based... We're definitely going to bring in Anger of the Gods, and we're definitely going to bring in Rest in Peace. Voice of Resurgence itself isn't usually enough for me to want to bring in Rest in Peace, but when I see things like Scavenging Ooze in the main deck, I'm starting to think that maybe this is some kind of crazy value deck. Obviously, it's creature-based, so we want all of our Searing Blazes and things in, even though these can eventually get outclassed by, you know, 4/4 Scavenging Oozes and things like that. Still really important. I'm not sure about Vexing Devil, but I want to keep testing with it, so I'm going to leave it. Outside of like just a couple Rest in Peace, I don't know if I want anything else. I didn't really see much. They're playing white and green, so I mean they could be playing Leyline, they could be playing life gain effects. Maybe we want Skullcracks. I don't want to over sideboard though. You know what? We're gonna take out Eidolon. This might be a bad idea, but we're on the draw, so Eidolon's never that amazing when you're on the draw, unless you're against like Storm or something. Then it's still totally good enough. And what do I want to bring in? I am going to put in the one card that I know will not be a dead card, and that's Deflecting Palm. Hypothetically, Skullcrack might not be useful. Hypothetically, Destructive Revelry won't be useful. But Deflecting Palm is pretty much always going to have a target, and it will get around ley lines if they have that. So that's the card I'm going to bring in. And that's the reason for it. So this might be a mistake, but I don't exactly know what I'm playing against. So hopefully there isn't too much sideboard hate that we run into here. But yeah, and this hand's fantastic. Again, our opponent mulligans, so maybe they're looking for a ley line. I don't know, but we're keeping. We are 100% keeping. Do we see a ley line? Come on, man. You're leaving us in suspense. Oh, he's taking time on their scry. All right, no ley line. Fantastic. Well, that's good news. And Also no turn 1 creature, which is good news. We drew a 3rd land, which is good. We don't want to see any more, but I'm okay with the 1. So let's fetch some lands out of the deck. I'm going to try to avoid... I try to avoid getting Sacred Foundries and things if I can. I mean, I could have got a Sacred Foundry there and then just decided to get Mountains after this. Maybe they're playing Path to Exile and things, so who knows. But we'll see what happens. So I don't know what's going to happen here. My guess is they're going to let us keep it, and maybe they'll Path or Bolt or something this thing, but I don't know. Again, I'm really interested in learning about this Vexing Devil card because it's potentially a 4 damage Lava Spike. Okay, so they let us keep it, and they got a Stomping Ground. So my guess is they're just going to bolt it, but you know, hey, if that's what they do, then that's what they do. Okay. Okay, see, now I'm really, really excited because what could happen here is they could try to bolt this, and because they let us get a land drop in, we might be able to just save it with a Boros Charm, depending on like what happens. So, especially if we attack, if we're able to attack. Okay, see now, this is an all-in play, and I've only been playing Vexing Devil for a couple weeks or whatever, but this happened to me the other day at an FNM event, and I was basically able to use Boros Charm to save Vexing Devil. Now, if this works, it basically means that Boros Charm still does them 4 damage, because they're still getting hit with the Vexing Devil. So you're not really losing anything. Now, if they have a second bolt, I guess it kind of effectively acts like a counterspell here, which isn't really what we want to do, but let's see if we can make our opponent really regret their decision here. If they fetch again, we're in trouble. Maybe they have a second bolt in their hand. No. Okay, so for anyone watching this video, because I have a lot of people do this. This is like the 3rd time this has happened. If you're gonna bolt the Vexing Devil, do it right away. Don't give me this chance. Do it before I have my second land drop, because I hope our opponent feels silly now, as they should. Oh man, that was awesome. Oh, okay, so I don't have a whiteboard like a certain Merfolk Master Pro. Alright, see, I can't save it this time. But, you know, hey, it still worked out pretty well. Oh, man, that was awesome. Everything... do we want to kill the graveyard right now? The only reason to empty the graveyard right now is for like a Scavenging Ooze. But you know what? We don't really have anything else to do with our mana. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm okay just doing this now, getting this out of the way. We're not using any cards that care about the graveyard, so that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, this is fantastic. And that's another reason. So now we get to go with this. We get to untap. And now when we kill this Voice of Resurgence, it exiles. It doesn't go to the graveyard, so they don't get a token, which is really what we want to have happen. So how do we use our mana the best this turn? This comes in tap no matter what. Do we want to do 2 other things? We probably... I'm okay just doing this and Searing Blazing here. There's no reason to fetch or do anything else. We can leave up Bolt if we need to, but right now there's nothing on board. We've got 10 points of damage in our hand. And, yeah. Now, yeah, we also have 2 white sources. Like, this is just fine. So we want to get this out of our hand immediately. And we have 3 mana to use still. I'm kind of wanting to hold up. a land drop just in case we get a Searing Blaze again. But there's no real reason to fetch right now. I mean, I could just to get the bolts and things out of my hand because they're at 11. Let's add this up quickly. They're at 11. We have 10 points in our hand. So there is the possibility that we draw. Yeah, okay. So it makes sense to get these spells out of our hand. Because the funny thing is that even if we draw a Searing Blaze, we only need to deal 1 point of damage to them. So even... Oh, that was dumb. I didn't think of that. Okay, so I was thinking too much ahead of myself into when we untap, and I've gone and made a huge misplay. I've basically given them a real clock that they can actually win with now. Wow, I might have punted away this game right there. So they're at 8. When we untap with and get this Rift Bolt, they're going to be at 8. Oh man. Wow, have I misplayed. So basically if we draw any burn spell, we win, and if we don't, we're going to lose. Okay, well... Oh no, because we're going to gain life. We're going to go to 15. So they're going to get 4, 8, 10. They're going to get 14 power on board. Oh man, did I mess up. I should have... Alright, guys. Well, here. We are going to just live with our mistake, and hopefully we're going to draw our way out of it. And but I hope everyone... Wow, that was strictly an on-camera issue there. That I was paying too much attention to what was going on. Okay. Well, I guess when you're good, you're good. You get turn 2 concessions, and you manage to draw your way out of a pretty horrible punt. But sometimes you get lucky. But that was pretty bad play. That was so... Yeah. So, okay. So remember how I said that 10 or 15% is that extra little bit? Well, that was like a 50% play. But that was so bad. But... I hope I showed why, right? Like this is sort of how you learn by, you know, I wouldn't have made that mistake on camera again. I would definitely have been pretty annoyed at myself for making that mistake. But luckily we got lucky, and I think even though I didn't have to pay for my mistake, I think I'm still going to remember it. So fortunately there's that. Now yeah, so you know, good games to our opponent, but I guess that's going to be our match for today. If you, aside from my horrible punt, if there's any other, which I am admitting to, if there's any comments or lines of play you do want to talk about that aren't quite so obvious, please put it in the comments section below. But this has been Andrew, Day 2 Dryden, recording for Nikachu MTG. Like, share, comment, and subscribe is a great way to help support the channel. Your support is what allows us to keep making this content. The webcam, the microphone I'm using, it's all from Nikachu MTG. Nikachu bought it, I didn't. So yeah, this has been Andrew, Day 2 Dryden, and I'll see you next time.